The guest speaker on Strength Vietnam today is the Canadian lecturer, Mr. Dennis. He was once the manager of training at Sofitel Metropole Hanoi, and he is currently lecturer at Department of Tourism, Hanoi Open University. For more than 12 years working in tourism sector in Vietnam, Mr. Dennis has guided a lot of tour guide classes for Vietnam. With his experience, Mr. Dennis will provide comments on the human factors of Vietnam's tourism industry, strengths and weaknesses, and share the know-how with those who want to become a good tour guide. Hello, you're watching Strength Vietnam on VTC10 Net Việt. I'm Văn Hiệp. Tourism is considered one of the key sectors that can introduce the beautiful Vietnam to international friends. And in order to do that, training the tourist guides plays an important role in this sector. So how is the training tourist guides going on in Vietnam, and how to train the best tourist guides for Vietnam? We'll address these issues in today's program with the sharing from one Canadian lecturer at Hanoi Open University, Mr. Dennis. So first of all, thank you very much, Mr. Dennis, for joining our program today.
You are welcome.
So the first question I'd like to ask you is your impression about Vietnam when you get married to one Vietnamese woman.
Well, people ask me all the time this question, especially my relatives back home, my friends. Why do you live in Vietnam? My mother said, oh, if my son lives in Vietnam, he must be just fine and happy. It must be good for him. Otherwise, he wouldn't stay. She's very right, you know. But people ask me, I said, first, I love the weather. I'm from Canada, 6 months of cold and wet. But in Vietnam, you don't need winter clothes, really. The boots, the mitts, the hat. So you just put a pair of pants, t-shirt, jump on the motorbike, you're free, you know. So I like the fact that it's easy that way. The people are very friendly, so I feel very safe here. There's no guns around, there's no people chasing each other with knives. People are smiling all the time. The girls are absolutely stunning, they're beautiful. I think that's the best. People ask me who are the best, the most beautiful girls in Asia. I said Vietnam, and then maybe that's why I'm staying here. And I married one. So the country is beautiful, the weather is beautiful, the food is beautiful, the people, the students, the girls are beautiful. I have very, very good friends, and I have no stress.
So it seems that everything is beautiful for you in Vietnam. So what about the tourism in Vietnam? Is this a beautiful picture?
Tourism in Vietnam has changed in 12 years. The first time I came here, transportation was a little bit crazy. I remember if you were taking the bus, or the bus from one town to the other one was zigzagging. The roads were very narrow, especially when I went to Lao Cai, Sapa, very dangerous, narrow roads in the mountain. Now they all changed all that. The brand new highway in the north, new road. That's only 4 or 5 years ago. Lao Chau, they have a new dam, so everything changed so fast. But they're on the right way. They're doing it right, you know, and quite fast actually, quite fast. The only problem is transportation by train. I hope very soon they will change the railway system in Vietnam.
And what about the tourism services in Vietnam? Have you seen?
Better, starting to be better, but only in the big, the big hotels, of course, 4-star, 5-star, because the Hilton, Sheraton, and Sofitel, they belong to a group like Accor Group or other groups, so they're looking for high standard. But the small hotels in the old quarter, it's getting there. The service is getting better. The staff is speaking English much better than before. All the hotel geared or service for the tourists, yes, has improved a lot. Even the tour company and the travel agencies. But I see it because in the last 12 years teaching at the Faculty of Tourism at Hanoi Open University, we make the best tour guide and the best people staff. And these students are working now in the hotels and tour operators, but they came from our faculty.
So with regard to the tourism sector, what is the importance of training the tourist guide in order to help improve the tourism of Vietnam?
Well, tour guides is very funny, but tour guides are probably the only person, and I call them the ambassadors of Vietnam, because they are in direct contact with the tourists and they represent their country and their culture. So it's very, very important that they know that whatever they say, whatever they do, they will be watched, observed, and when the tourists go back to their home, go back home in their countries, they will be talking and say, ah. So it's very, very important that when I teach, I make sure they understand that whatever they do, you know, if they do something stupid, people are watching, people will be talking. If they do something smart, you know, so I said, be careful, you are the ambassadors.
As the number of tourists coming to Vietnam is increasing, tour guides play an important role in promoting Vietnam to the world. Therefore, at present, training tour guides has been developed at many levels, grades depending on the training model. Currently, students are trained with both theory and practice. The potential tour guides of Vietnam are sent to tourist sites to practice and to have direct contact with diverse tourism environments, both with foreign and domestic tourists.
We not only focus on the theory, but our students are required to do a lot of experience. That means they must have the hand-on experience. They have to know what responsibilities, what tasks they must have if they want to work as a tour guide. And they have to understand the importance of their job. They not only work for themselves, for the company, they will be the people who will make the foreigners understand about the country, so they can be the ambassador of the country.
As predicted by travel experts, along with the strategy for tourism development of Vietnam to 2020 and vision to 2030, Vietnam will welcome a diversity of tourists. Apart from tourists from traditional markets like from Europe, tourists from new markets such as India, Saudi Arabia, etc. are also concerned. In order to realize the forecast and the targets, Vietnam must balance the supply and demand for tour guides. In particular, the demand for good tour guides still increases, and there is always room for developing the skills of tour guides. So currently you are now training tourist guide at the Hanoi Open University. So what do you think about the strength and the weakness of those students who you have already taught?
If they come from Hanoi, they understand English quite well. If they come from the back country or different provinces, the English level is very limited because they didn't have enough contacts with English and foreigners. But the students from Hanoi or in the suburb of Hanoi, they're quite good. They understand me. They're very, very enthusiastic, you know, very, very much. They have a good feeling. They feel positive. So, you know, it's great. And I give them something, but I take a lot from them. You know, they teach me a lot about where they come from, their background, their province,
And in your opinion, in order to be a good and the best tourist guide, what are the key elements to achieve this position?
Understanding where the tourists come from. So if they guide people from Holland, from Canada, from America, from Australia, it's all different style. So they have to understand and say, okay, I'm guiding a group of people from Switzerland. Well, the needs and expectations of these tourists are different from Australians, from Canadians, from Americans, from British. So that's what they have to understand. They cannot give information the same way to every group. They have to learn, and they do in the class. That's the first thing they have to know. Who is my target audience? My target audience. And they have to be patient, very patient. Because in Vietnam, the schedule could be, the train, the bus, and because of the traffic and all this, you could be behind schedule. So they have to be very, very patient. And also safety. Tourists expect to be safe.
So I'm wondering, with regard to the professional environment, for example, the hotel or the freelance tourism, what are the skills or the most important skills that the students or the tourist guide must acquire?
The skills, what I did through my lifetime is I did all sort of. I did museums tour, I did city tour, bus tours, bicycle tours in Europe, trekking, hiking for 10 years in Europe. I did tour operating business, director, manager. I founded a travel agency 12 years ago in Hanoi. And then after 2-3 years I let it go because I had other project. But I did everything, tour representative on big resorts, 5-star resort in Thailand. So I suggest that all students, that they should try every area so they have a global knowledge and they know exactly.
And do you have any advice or the sharing with the Vietnamese young people who want to be as a good tourist guide for Vietnam?
Well, it's all based on reputation. When you work as a tour guide, whatever you do, you have to build up your reputation. So you better be honest and be truthful. Don't play games, don't lie, and be serious. And so people can the tourists have confidence, trust in you, and be confident. And because it's all based on reputation. If you're a bad tour guide, people talk.
And do you believe that the young Vietnamese people or the Vietnamese tourist guides all achieve those characteristics?
Yes, because when I meet them with tourists, I ask the tourists about them. I said, so what do you think about him? And they tell me, oh, very good, oh, exceptional. And sometimes I had a few answers like, so-so. But so-so, perhaps because it was not their training, but I think maybe it was the way they express themselves or giving the information in English was difficult for the tourists to understand.
And once again, thank you very much, Mr. Dennis, for joining our program today and for your sharing. And we hope you all the best.
Yeah, my pleasure. It was fun. Welcome.
And with that, we have to wrap up our program for today. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at shuangvietnam@vtc.vn. And once again, I'm Văn Hiệp. Goodbye for now.